All right, this is how I converted this free boat trailer into a car hauler. So if you're wondering about how to get rid of a big boat, you can strip out all the metal, and I took mine to the dump and they charged me $100. So the first modification that I did was to come right over here and before the channel starts to bend, cut out a 2-foot section of the frame on both sides, and then bring the tongue back and weld that shut. And then back here, make a cut right here, and then on both sides, and then put that 2-foot section of frame right here, and then weld the butt of the trailer back on. And so that moved my axles forward that much. So this being a boat trailer, the frame rails just form a big trapezoid. So in order to get a big rectangle, I had to lay on top these pieces of, this is 3x3 angle iron. I went with 3x3 because it allowed me to maximize the width. So the width is the most it can be to fit in between the tires. This is two 20-foot pieces of angle iron, and then they have a bend on the end, and then they're welded together. And this worked out to 17 feet. And what I should have done was just made it 16 and just cut a foot off the ends, and that would have been a lot easier to just plug in 16-foot pieces of wood. But I gotta mess around with 18-footers, cut them down. So this 3x3 is welded onto the top of the C-channel and then welded onto these flat fender hangers. And then out here where it's just unsupported, I've added these 3 4x4 box tubes, which are capped on the ends. And then along the section, the opening of the frame, these are pieces of angle iron. They've got a little mouth cut on the end so that they plug onto the C-channel and they get more weld surface. And then the original cross members are still in there doing their job, holding the frame together. There's a fender support bracket here that I notched out 90-degree cut and welded in the 3x3 channel. Tie that in. When I lengthened, when I moved the axles, it left me with an extra 2 feet of brake line, which I just formed into a loop. And then where this got opened up, I capped these to stiffen them up and give it a better finished look. And then I added this tube. And so that's a step, but it's also a rub rail in case you accidentally rub into something so it doesn't get caught inside here. This is a shelf which hangs off the bottom of the frame. These are 7-foot ramps, and they pull out like that. And then there's a 1x1 angle iron right here that hang the ramps on. I would have liked to have the ramps facing long ways and pull them out the back, but I couldn't get them low enough to clear this back cross member in order to pull them out. So I still need to deck it and paint it and put on some tie downs. But this is the bones of it. This is how it's done if you want to do it. I learned a lot from watching some other YouTube videos, so just adding to the content that's out there for anyone who wants to take on this type of project.